We're going to explore simplifying fractions in this video. The thing that makes simplifying fractions difficult for students is the process for how you can get to the answer might be different for almost every student. But as long as you eventually get to the correct answer, your process probably is not wrong. You just might have used one shorter or longer than the student next to you. So I'm going to go the long way, what I see many students do, and then kind of talk to you about how you could have made it shorter. So my first example, 4/12. I'm going to reduce that. Well, let's say the first thing that comes to mind is that 4 and 12 can both be divided by 2, because that's what I've got to think. What can both numbers be divided by? So I'm just going to start there. I'm going to divide the 4 by 2, and that gives me 2. And then when I divide 12 divided by 2, that gives me the answer is 6. So now I'm to the fact I have 2 over 6. But see, now I realize that can also be divided by 2. 2 and 6 can both be divided by 2, so I've got to go again. I do 2 divided by 2, and that gives me the answer of 1. And then I do 6 divided by 2, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. So now I look, the numbers 1 and 3, the only number that they could both be divided by is 1, but then I would just have the same answer, so that won't do me any good. That lets me know my final answer is 1/3. Now that one took me 2 steps to solve. I could have done it in just one step. I first divided by 2, then I divided by 2 again. Well, if I think what is 2 times 2, I would have gotten 4. If I would have just divided by 4 the first time, I would have skipped the work in the middle, done it in one step, and gotten to 1/3, because 4 divided by 4 is 1, and 12 divided by 4 is 3. So that's why we also tell you that you should try to come up with the largest multiple that they both have in common. Okay? All right, let's look at the second example. Let's pretend I realize 18 and 36 can be both divided by 6. Say that's the first one that comes to mind. So when I do that, I get 18 divided by 6 is 3. 36 divided by 6 is 6. But now I realize, well, 3 and 6 can both be divided by 3. So I have to do a second step. 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 6 divided by 3 is 2. So now 1 and 2 can only be divided by 1, so I'm at my final answer. Again, let's explore how I could have done it faster. I divided by 6, then I divided by 3. 6 times 3 is 18. I could have just divided by 18 the first time. But that's actually one that's not uncommon, that I see kids have to do it in multiple steps. The key is to know when you're finished. You are not finished until you look at both numerator and denominator and you realize the only thing they can both be divided by is 1. That's the point that you're finished.